Some artifacts are never meant to be touched. Some relics, hidden deep in forgotten tombs, are not treasures but traps. In the heart of Cairo, behind the stone walls of the Egyptian Museum, one woman learns this truth too late. This is the story of the mummy's mirror. Dr. Layla Hassan had spent most of her life surrounded by the dead. Not in a morbid way, she was an art restorer, one of the best in the Cairo Museum. Her world was papyrus, sandstone, crumbling relics, and delicate brushes. She had a steady hand, a sharp eye, and a reverence for history that bordered on obsession. When the museum announced the arrival of a newly unearthed tomb from Luxor, she volunteered immediately to examine the artifacts. The tomb belonged not to a pharaoh, but to a high priest of Anubis, buried over 3,000 years ago. Priests were often buried with ceremonial tools, sacred objects, and symbols of their power. Among the relics brought to the museum was something unusual, something no one had ever catalogued before. A mirror. It wasn't gold or bronze like most ancient Egyptian mirrors. This one was solid obsidian, polished to a flawless black sheen. Its surface swallowed light, reflecting nothing but the faintest shimmer. The frame was carved with hieroglyphs, so eroded that only fragments remained, mentions of sight beyond, death, and the passage of the Ka. The other restorers avoided it, dismissing it as ceremonial or perhaps unfinished. But Layla felt drawn to it. The first night she examined it, the museum was nearly empty. Only the hum of air conditioners and the distant echo of guards' footsteps filled the silence. She set the mirror under her restoration lamp. Its black surface reflected nothing. Not her face, not the light above, just darkness. And then, faintly, movement, not hers. She blinked, leaned closer. The reflection shimmered, just for an instant, into something else. A chamber lit by torches. Figures in linen robes, chanting in low guttural voices. Their faces were hidden by jackal masks, and on a stone table, a woman's body. Her body. Layla jerked back, nearly knocking over her lamp. The image was gone. The mirror showed only her pale, frightened face staring back. She told herself it was exhaustion, a trick of the eyes. She'd been working late for weeks, but something deep inside whispered otherwise. Over the next few nights, she found excuses to return. She told colleagues she was studying the obsidian. In truth, she couldn't stay away. Each time, the visions in the mirror grew clearer. She saw the priests anointing her with oils, wrapping her limbs in linen, sliding canopic jars into place. She heard whispers, though no sound should have escaped the glass. The chants were always the same, low and droning, calling to someone or something beyond. One night she dared to lean closer, pressing her fingertips against the glass. The surface was warm, and for just a moment she felt hands pressed back from the other side. Layla's friends began to notice the change. Her colleague Mariam cornered her in the break room. "Layla, you look exhausted. You're pale. You don't eat. You barely talk. What's going on?" Layla forced a smile. "Just long hours. You know how it is." But Mariam frowned. "Stay away from that mirror. It gives me the creeps. Everyone feels it. Even the guards won't go near that storage room at night." Layla laughed it off. But that night, when she returned to the mirror, the words gnawed at her. She whispered to the glass, "Why me?" And for the first time, the mirror whispered back. A voice dry as sand slithered into her ears. "Because you are already mine. After that, The line between day and night blurred. When she brushed her teeth in the morning, she swore the bathroom mirror flickered, her reflection wrapped in linen for a heartbeat before returning to normal. When she walked through the museum halls, she felt eyes watching her from every glass case. Every polished surface seemed ready to ripple with visions. And worst of all, she began to hear chanting even without the mirror. Whispers followed her home, crawling through the silence of her apartment. The smell of resin, of frankincense, of decay. It clung to her clothes, her hair, her skin. On the seventh night, she resolved to end it. She would lock the mirror back in the archives and refuse to touch it again. But when she entered the restoration room, her blood turned cold. The mirror wasn't on the table. It was standing upright, in the center of the room, waiting for her. Layla froze, breath caught in her throat. And then the glass rippled. Her reflection smiled, but she hadn't. The reflection lifted its hand, wrapped in linen, fingers shriveled, gray, lifeless. And when the hand pressed against the inside of the mirror, the glass cracked, once, twice, spreading like a web. She screamed and stumbled back, but the reflection didn't stop. It pressed harder until the surface began to bulge outward, as if something on the other side was trying to force its way through. The chanting grew deafening. The air stank of tomb dust, and just before the glass shattered, blackness. When ancient relics are disturbed, they don't always remain silent. Sometimes they reach across time, across death, across the veil itself. Dr. Layla Hassan thought she was studying the past, but in truth, the past was studying her. This was only the beginning. The mirror is awake. And in part 2, we will see what happens when what's trapped inside finally gets out. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that story. If you did, please subscribe Dark Whisper AI. Leave a comment. Part 2 will be up soon. Don't miss. Goodbye.